lined up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with the few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Good evening, everybody. It is Monday night. It is 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. You are tuned in to the Drive-In Speaker Box. It is December 2nd, 2024. I'm your host, Bo, the Boom Operator.
I'm Slick Doggy, the Grip.
And we are here to talk to you about movies on this podcast. If you are downloading this podcast, not watching the video, and you don't know why we're talking about it live, and you're not here in the chat that's on the screen here for all of our viewers over on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, you need to get in on that action. It's a lot of fun. You can do it on our link tree. Just go to driveinspeakerbox.com. It'll give you links to our Discord. It'll give you links to all of the stuff so you can participate in the show live and every day. So we were just in the Twitch pre-show talking all kinds of like retro nostalgia games and just getting geared up for retro season. There wasn't a whole lot of movies in the theater this week.
In fact, locally, every single theater we had in all of Northwest Arkansas, there was one new movie.
Yeah, it was Moana, and that was like your choices of movies this week were Moana, Wicked, Red One.
Yeah,
That was it.
There was 5 movies listed at AMC.
And that's a 16-screen theater.
That was one of the ones that our Razorback Malco had the most listings. But we have 3 Malcos, an AMC, and a 6-screen independent theater. And none of them had anything to do except for Moana 2.
But Wicked and Moana, which is making all the money, said it broke an opening record that was held by Mario Brothers. I mean, really, Moana.
I mean, the first one wasn't bad.
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, I remember
I don't know
but
that it needed a sequel at all. It kind of wrapped everything up. It murdered the grandma. It made you cry, and then it wrapped up the story.
I also just don't remember it being that big of a cultural like phenomena when it first came out.
Movie Albert says he watched Boneheffer today. You know what? I would be more inclined to watch it if it wasn't from Angel Studios.
Yeah.
Because it looks interesting, and I like history, especially World War II. But
it also wasn't showing at any good times here either. It was kind of rough.
Like 2 or 3 showings. But, the Angel Studio part of it kind of detracts me from it because I don't need proselytization at the same time.
Well, Movie Albert on Twitch says it was excellent. So,
that's good news.
Yeah.
Maybe if it hits some, like a regular streaming service, I'll try and find it and watch it.
Check it out.
Or maybe this week. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing new until Friday, so...
Yep. It's kind of a slow week in theaters this weekend. A lot of stuff's coming out. I did get a chance to go see Red One. Jake did talk about that last week, or not last week, week before last on the show. We
both talked about Wicked.
We talked about Wicked, but later I'll probably touch into what I thought about Red One. Actually, I can just do it now before we get into news because it's not like I'm gonna go full dive. Yeah. But yeah, I saw Red One. I much like Jake said, it was action Christmas. I mean, it was paint by numbers Christmas story. The classic person that doesn't believe in Christmas, has an estranged son, somehow is the person that needs to help Santa save Christmas, patches it up with the son, and they both ride in the sleigh on Christmas Eve. That's
I do like that. That's the reward for saving the world.
It's like, are you coming? And they're like, with Santa? Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I wish they would do a movie where Santa, it just like goes through all these different years that Christmas has needed to be saved. So like all these movies are somehow canon, and like all like these kids from the 90s, and it like goes through this sort of montage of all these kids that have helped Santa save Christmas. And I don't know what the the movie would actually be about, but I just want that montage in the front of like this boneheaded Santa keeps getting kidnapped, or that this something falling off roofs and dying.
Yeah, so it'd be the Santa Claus and Miracle on 34th Street and Elf and Red One and all of the sequels to these things.
Just all of them kind of just rolled into one. And Christmas Chronicles and
Ernest Saves Christmas.
Ernest Saves Christmas. But anyway, I the one thing that I really did enjoy about Red One, I enjoyed the inclusion of Grilla the Christmas Witch and Krampus. I thought that was cool. I thought that inclusion of other fun kind of antiquated Christmas traditions was really interesting, and I wish that more people would see that, so that when I want to do a Christmas Witch and I want to do a Krampus display at my bar, then people are not going to go, "What's this demon? Why is it here?" And they might understand a little thing. That was fun. I think that movie was incredibly too long, by about 25 minutes too long.
Sure.
But it was just popcorny Christmas goofy. I mean, it was the so formulaic Christmas movie, and but with The Rock, and it did not need to be $250 million.
Well, it was like, what if Hellboy was a Christmas movie?
Kind of, yeah. And I did like all the inclusions of Headless Horseman and
That's
the
what I'm
Snowman.
saying, yeah.
That was all very cool. I liked where they were going with this, and I wish that they had not spent so much money, maybe not included The Rock, and they could. I mean, they had to.
He produced the thing,
but I mean, it was an easy to watch movie. It just cost way too much, and I think this would have been a fun Arnold movie back in the 90s.
Oh, man. If it was Schwarzenegger, it would have been class.
Like Jingle All the Way era Schwarzenegger. Anyway, Red One, it's in theaters. Like, if you need something just goofy to chew on that has Santa Claus in it, J.K. Simmons makes a great Santa. I really like the justification of why he eats so many cookies. He's like
the super-powered Santa Claus.
He's like, dude, do you know how many calories I burn visiting every damn house on the planet? And I thought that was kind of funny.
30,000 calories an hour.
Yeah, that's a lot of calories. Anyway, it's in theaters. You can check it out if you want. I'm probably, it's one of those movies I'll probably never watch again.
That's exactly right. Like, you watch it once, you're like, oh, okay.
Man, it's pretty cool. But the Krampus bits and the Grilla bits were quite good. So
it's like, if it's on TV, you'll be like, oh, it's at the good part, and then you change the channel,
and then I'm done. Yeah.
It's not Die Hard. It's not, the prison movie.
It's not Scrooged. It's not a prison movie.
Yeah, what's the one that you can't change the channel?
Redemption?
Yeah, it's not Shawshank. Like, you can't. Yeah. You don't find it on TV.
The
and you're like,
Burbs.
I know what we're watching now. Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, we're stopping.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. It'll still be in theaters probably for another week or two. They're probably going to try and keep that one in theaters as long as they can, since it is a Christmas movie. But the closer it gets to Christmas,
I saw that part of the news is that Dwayne Johnson right now did something that very few other people have ever done. He has 2 movies in the top 5. So
what's the other one?
Red One and Moana.
Oh, that's right. He is in Moana.
So Red One looks like, I think it went up, because last week it was down. It was like number 7 or something. Maybe?
Well, and there was also being Thanksgiving, that there was technically a 5-day weekend, right? So Moana, of course, just absolutely decimating the 5-day weekend. I mean, honestly, decimating all of it. But you get a little bit different numbers. Red One still, it's been number 4. So
okay,
what it's looking like.
Well, and you know what? Talking about numbers and things that we'll get to later in the box office roundup, there are misleading articles out there right now about the success of Wicked, because they just want it to seem bigger than life, so that FOMO is just instilled into you. And they're like, with the Thanksgiving holiday, Wicked has beat the long-time standing record that Grease set in 1978 of the
musical
most successful Broadway to film movie ever, because it has 263 million as opposed to Grease's 190 million. But it's misleading, because if you were to take that and account for inflation,
adjusted for inflation,
Grease made $1 billion.
Whoa.
That's how successful Grease was, that it made $1 billion of today's dollars in 1978, right? And so There's things out there where they're like, Wicked is the biggest
sucked.
movie of all time. It's the biggest musical ever. Can you even believe it? And it's not even come anywhere near Grease yet. I'm sure it'll get there.
What about like Phantom? How much did Phantom of the Opera pull?
Well, and this is like Grease domestic. So unless Wicked crosses $1 billion in the U.S., it's not going to touch Grease.
Let's see. Phantom of the Opera only did a worldwide of 154 million.
The one with
The 2004 one. Yeah.
old Scottish dude.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Gerard Butler.
There we go.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
bad at memory tonight for things that I need to know. But yeah, I mean, well, Grease had a badass theme song. Grease is the word, it's the word that we're seeing.
But I don't.
Yeah.
But Grease sucks, man. But yeah.
Yeah, but like, you know,
And it only had a $6 million budget, which I guess
It's
is a pretty
fun.
big ass budget for
Grease 2 has the biker dude and Shooter McGavin.
Shooter
Yeah.
McGavin.
Yeah, Grease 2 is a lot of fun.
Movie hour said he sold a Wicked one sheet for $100. Wow, nice. That's ridiculous. We watched Wicked. We talked about it. It's good. It's fine. It's a pretty solid musical, I guess.
It's easy to fall asleep during.
Well, yeah, he fell asleep through a lot of it, but I enjoyed it.
Not a lot of it. Just, I mean, I watched a lot of it and just couldn't stay awake for the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
Frankie Valli recently lip synced live to the Grease theme. Hey, but if the Grease theme was live and it was there, it's still something fun. You know what? Talking about sequels, unnecessary sequels, how Wicked is going to be a 2 or 3 parter, and how
2. They said 2.
A lot of people don't care for Grease 2, even though it's badass. Tim Burton. Recently, IndieWire posted an interview that they had with Burton following the success of Beetlejuice, and he said that he has no plans to ever make sequels to either Edward Scissorhands or Nightmare Before Christmas.
Good.
Yeah, he's like, I think that they are...
Also, he burned his bridge with Henry Selick, and I don't think Henry Selick would come back and do another one.
But, who remembers that Henry Selick directed it? No one.
Almost
Everyone
nobody,
thinks
yeah.
that Tim Burton did. He just produced it and wrote the story. Original idea. But he said he has no plans to ever make sequels for those. He doesn't think they need sequels, that they are
don't.
standalones. Disney has out a book, a sequel to Nightmare Before Christmas, where it follows the girl, the one that
Sally?
that the doctor had made, and she keeps poisoning him and all that stuff.
Sally, bring me my help.
Yeah, there is a book sequel to it, but Tim Burton said no plans on that or Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands doesn't need.
And it can't because Johnny Depp is aged, and that's the whole thing about Edward Scissorhands is that he's dead. He is a Frankenstein. He can't age. So there you go. Also, how would you like Anthony Michael Hall? Did he get killed in it? He lives.
I think he lives. I don't think
It's been a
I don't
little
think
while.
anyone actually dies. I think they just he stabs somebody, and they're like, "Oh,
Vincent Price dies.
well, yeah,
Heart
of
attack.
course, yeah." But that's the whole.
That's why he's wandering the streets. He's like
the
yeah.
plot point. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, so there's that. And then more unnecessary movies. Craven.
You can watch like the first 8 minutes.
You can watch the first 8 minutes. Did you?
No.
I did.
Like the trailer's too much.
So basically, it's just it's 8 minutes of nothing, right? So it has Aaron Taylor Johnson. He introduces. He's like, "Hey,
I'm Craven.
happy holidays, y'all. Here's the first 8 minutes. Go buy tickets." And the first 8 minutes is opening credits for a very long time, and then it's Craven in a Russian prison, and you find out he's not a hunter of animals. In this iteration, he's a hunter of men.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so
Yeah,
he's there to kill a Russian mob boss guy, and then he displays...
When the man comes around.
Yeah.
Like that stupid trailer.
And then he displays Spider-Man abilities, where he climbs walls and has super strength, and runs up the sides of buildings, and then off into the snow, and then it goes Craven. So you get nothing from this.
Yeah.
It's dumb. It's a good way to
Clickbait.
It's a terrible way to waste 8 minutes. I could have been doing so many more things in the
In life.
9.5 minutes with the introduction included. But that's out there if you want to see what Craven's going to be like.
So you can tell yourself that not buying a ticket was a good decision.
Yeah, but hey, it comes out on the 13th, so you have a week.
December?
Yeah, you got 2 weeks.
The only movie I give a shit about coming out this month is Nosferatu. Like, that's it. Like, it's the only one. There's not another movie that I'm like, ooh, I cannot wait for, this. I mean, there's some movies that are going to come out that I'll watch, but there isn't. I mean, like Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim.
War of the Rohirrim. If we
gonna
get
be
it
good.
in Japanese, I want to see it in Japanese.
That'll be good. I'll watch that. Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I do want to see this. Like, I mean, of course, it's
coming out this month already.
Yeah, it's
dang. They just started in the new trailers, and it's coming out already.
It's Sonic 3. Yeah, it's coming out. I'm excited about that, but not like, oh my god. But then Nosferatu in effing IMAX, bro. IMAX Nosferatu, IMAX. I'm going to be so into that. Movie Hour on Twitch says that they are excited about A Complete Unknown. I like Timothée Chalamet. I don't like Bob Dylan.
Oh, I feel the same way.
I'm sorry, guys. I've tried. I just don't like him. I'm just
not really a fan either. Beelzebub Ding Dong says Burton has sucked since 98? Probably. Burton has not been what he was when he was making Batman movies. Velvet Santa says I like Big Fish, also something that doesn't need a sequel. No Scarlet Spider film. We'll never get that, dude. I think you got him in the Spider-Verse 2. Apparently he's a butthole man in that, though, which sucks because Ben Reilly's the coolest. Or was it was Spider-Man 2099 that sucked? I don't know. I haven't watched the movie. Yeah. It was one of those two is not cool in that movie.
I think it was 2099 because he was the bad guy. He was the villain.
Yeah. Chalamet does look like he makes a good Dylan in the trailer.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying that.
But also,
I'm sure it'll be a good movie. I'm just not a...
The musical, the music-based biopics doesn't have any good faith left after The Queen, and there was another one recently, the Elton John one with old Kingsman dude, Taron Egerton.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those movies that are the music biopics about these people that are still alive. Oh, the Bob Dylan or the Bob Marley one.
Bob Marley one, yeah.
There's all these things about people that are within very recent history that a lot of us were alive to know about that person and see the things that happen in their lives that are far from what actually happened in history, and having history not portrayed correctly when it's so close is unforgivable, and I don't like it. So things like that. Walk Hard is definitely the best musical biopic. You're right, Velvet Santa.
Well, you want to talk? Do you have some more news, or we want to talk about what's actually coming out in theaters this weekend?
Yeah, I got some more news here.
We can jump back into news because we didn't really review anything.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean,
we're talking about movies.
Format it however you want.
Yeah, we're talking about movies that are coming out already. So this weekend, let's go ahead and jump into this weekend. There's several. There's actually a handful. They're all kind of like, I wouldn't call them indie films, but they're not like big blockbuster holiday. Get your butts puckered for them. There's a
butts puckered.
Butts puckered for Moana. The Order, new movie starring Jude Law, Nicholas Hoult, and Ty Sheridan, is coming out this weekend. It's about a series of bank robberies and car heists in the Pacific Northwest. This
committed by racists.
Yeah, this lone FBI agent believes that they were a group of domestic terrorists, and directed by Justin Kurzel. Jude Law, man, Nicholas Hoult.
I did see that the director asked Jude Law and Nicholas Hoult to follow each other in real life, leading up to and during the filming of this movie, so that they kind of method acted their characters of spying on each other and stuff like that.
That's
which is fun.
That is pretty fun.
It looks like an interesting movie.
And Jude Law, man.
Jude Law is such a good actor.
He is good. Also coming out this week, which, if Velvet Santa, who watches our show all the time, does not go see this movie, then everything that I've thought about this guy is wrong. Because this movie is 90s nostalgia to the max, which is also Velvet Santa. And over on Twitch, if you follow us on Twitch, but it's called Y2K. It is a comedy written and directed by Kyle Mooney, and it is basically about, if any of you guys were alive or remember, I assume most of you guys were alive at this time, but if you remember Y2K, when the year 2000 was upon us and everybody thought that all of our computer infrastructure was going to collapse because of the Y2K bug, because no one programmed it to go that high. Well, on New Year's Eve, 1999, everything goes crazy, and the Y2K bug basically turns it into Maximum Overdrive, but a comedy. And all of the machines and everything go crazy and start killing these teenagers. And
well, and if it's anything like his sketches, Kyle Mooney's sketches from SNL,
yeah,
I mean, that's like his time period. That sounds like it jives pretty well. It does have Rachel Zegler in it, so I don't know if the world is still not happy with her because of
what'd she do?
Oh, she's playing Snow White, and then she decided to like say a bunch of like dumbass stuff that everyone's like, really?
I
Like
remember.
you're really messing this up for yourself, kind of a thing. See, I don't even remember what it was, but I remember she did enough to like piss everyone off, and it halted production on Snow White for quite a while. So anyhow, yeah, I don't know. Kyle Mooney's a funny guy.
He is a funny guy.
So,
and the trailers look pretty silly, and
Horror comedy is I don't like horror movies, but I like horror comedy
and
movies.
I also love 90s internet. Like, I mean, Virtuosity, Johnny Mnemonic, things like that. Like what we thought the internet was in the 90s, and this movie very much looks like a representation of that turned into kind of a modern crazy whatever. I think it's going to be fun. Oh, Hackers. Yeah, Hackers was fantastic. I think it'll be fun. I don't think it'll be fun for anybody that doesn't remember the 90s. I think if a lot of these I run a bar. For those of you that don't know me personally or just listen to this podcast, I own and operate a cocktail bar. So I see a lot of IDs, and like people that are born in like 2002 can drink alcoholic beverages, right? And somebody they were like, oh yeah, you guys were born in the other century, the 1900s, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Ooh. But yeah, like, but these people have no clue what this movie's about, and yeah, I don't know if it'll translate the same way. So,
well, yeah, who knows?
It's coming out.
That does remind me that there's that Netflix movie that just came out too. You remember the movie that came out where that girl went back in time and tried to stop her mom from like getting murdered or whatever it was?
The Flash?
No, it was like her friend was a super genius, and the murderer stabs her time machine that she had made at the fair or whatever. They made another one of those, but instead of going back to the 80s, this time it goes back to like the early 2000s. So
yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's a new one on Netflix, but it's done by the same people that did the one where they go back to the 80s, like the slasher where they did the 80s time travel. This time it's a girl that time travels to like 2004 or something. So yeah, all of these movies being made about like the long time ago of like when we were alive is
weird.
Is weird. Yeah.
So. Well, speaking of long time ago movies, the other movies coming out this week is The Return, which is 20 years after Odysseus finally returning to Ithaca. So if we want to go into the way back, it's that new movie that's coming out with Ralph Fiennes and Juliette Binoche.
I didn't know that he was playing Odysseus.
Yeah, he's playing Odysseus.
Now this movie is far more interesting.
Yes, that's why it looks interesting, because Ralph Fiennes is the coolest. Yeah, I mean, it's a classic, man.
It's going to have him restring the bow and shoot it through the axe heads, and it's going to have his dog being the only one that knows him, and he's going to be like, I'm king of this bitch.
Yeah. basically.
Dude.
Now, are you like way more amped about it now?
Yeah, dude, mythology gets me hyped, dude. Like, you kidding?
Yeah, and he just rolls in and just like starts, "You remember me, motherfucker?" And yeah, dude.
Dope.
So yeah,
Okay.
I'm excited about this one. I think it'll be pretty cool because, I mean, I'll watch Ray Fiennes do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
He's an awesome guy. So that's coming out in theaters this week. And also in limited release this week, actually looks really interesting because Amy Adams is also really cool and always plays, whatever she plays, she does it well. But it's written and directed by Marielle Heller, and it is called Night Bitch. And it's about this woman kind of pausing her career to be a stay-at-home mom. But in the middle of it, like, you just kind of got to watch the trailer. She starts, it kind of makes you think either she's just in her head becoming a werewolf, not necessarily a werewolf, like she becomes just like a dog and like runs around in the neighborhood with the other dogs, and reminds me of this French film from like the late 90s, early 2000s that, oh my God, I can't remember. I think it's called The Life of Dog or something like this. I don't know. It's actually quite good. But yeah, she starts finding this sort of side of herself that's feral and canine. And the trailer looks pretty cool. And Amy Adams, man. I mean, it's Amy Adams being a weirdo, and I'm down with that. So hopefully we'll get it here in theaters because, God dang it, I need something to watch that isn't Moana. So
She played a good weirdo in Talladega Nights.
yes, she did. And like Amy Adams will take a whole lot of different roles like that. I appreciate anybody that will take just the gambit of roles where, you know, you'd see a lot of Hollywood people and they don't want to play anything that's like ugly. You remember when, what was it, Charlize Theron like got all those accolades for just like not playing a hot chick, and it's like, come on, dude, like, you know, how about you act? But anyway, Night Bitch coming out limited, maybe expanded release this week. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is either super, super limited or coming out on like VOD or just going to be in like, you know, 1 or 2 screens. So
that Werewolves movie with Frank Grillo's coming out.
Yes. Whether or not we actually get this anywhere. It says only in theaters.
That's the one where like they're trying to... oh crap! I talked about its trailer on the show.
It's like a viral infection.
Most of the world is infected, and so they're like, "Hey, remember, it's coming up, and we're
the supermoon's gonna turn us all into werewolves."
Yeah, that's what it was, the supermoon, and it's the second year because they're like, "Hey, you guys, remember last time? Well, it's coming up again."
So it's like the Purge in reverse.
Yeah,
you know, but yeah. This is kind of a weird movie to come out in December, but if you get in a theater near you, I mean, Frank Grillo is the lead, if that tells you anything about this one.
Man, so, he's in fun movies. He plays
Blue Diamond
like
Phillips is also in this movie.
Yeah, he's like the president or something. He's the dude on TV, like a leader of the FBI or president or someone like that, and he's like, "Hey, remember werewolves or whatever."
Now, like, I don't have a problem with Frank Grillo, but he always seems to play like
stunt guy,
the muscle
bad guy dude,
like the second in command. You're like, all right, go get him, and he's like, yes sir, and you know, it's Frank Grillo. He's never like the lead guy, and kind of interesting seeing him as the lead guy in this one. But you know, and what a name, like Frank Grillo. Like, you don't, I feel like you could only get cast to be like meathead dudes if your name is Frank Grillo.
Yeah. Well, it looks fun from the trailer. Like, it looks like
you wouldn't go to like an Academy Award nominated musical starring Frank Grillo. Like, it just doesn't sound the same.
Maybe, dude.
You know. Anyway, but werewolves, maybe it'll come to a theater near you. It'll muscle through the 12 screens out of your multiplex that is showing Moana this week and find a screen. So, but anyway, all right. Well, back to news, man. That's your new releases. Like I said, we didn't really review any new movies because there isn't really anything to review but Moana, and we didn't see Moana.
We had nothing available in theaters to us. I did watch. I started watching that new Dune series on Max. I could talk about that, I guess. But in the news, talking about movies that are going to come out soon, I think this one's due this month, Mufasa, right? The director of it was interviewed by Total Film, Barry Jenkins, and he was asked whether he considers this live action or CGI, if it's an animated movie, right?
Yeah, they need to stop calling CGI movies live action.
So he said it is absolutely an animated movie. He goes, I'm constantly talking with animators who are having to animate the way that everything is on screen based on 3D models of things that don't exist. He's like, I'm not filming real things. I'm directing animation. So he said it is absolutely an animated movie. So quit calling them live action. They are CGI animated movies, according to someone who's leading the next
Who's
biggest
making
one.
these things?
Yep. We got a new poster. It was made out like it was a big deal of the Superman movie. It is, however, it's drawn.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually kind of cool, but
it's a comic book drawing, so another big letdown, but something that did not look like it will be a letdown. New Jackie Chan movie.
Wait a minute, what?
Yeah, Chinese movie. It's called A Legend.
Oh, I did see this
so-
in my scroll this week.
Yeah, it's Jackie Chan and young Jackie Chan.
That with the
living-
de-aging, yeah.
living thousands of years apart, hundreds at least.
Have you?
1,500 years apart.
Speaking of Jackie Chan, and I know this is, go ahead and continue talking about this movie, but I just earmark. I want to talk about Ke Huy Quan.
Well, so this, like, Jackie Chan in this is playing a like a scientist of some kind, archaeologist or whatever, in modern times, that has or finds a connection to a past self when, like, the Chinese military is fighting off these invading Hun and everything like that, and somehow that connection matters. Like, it seems in the trailer maybe he can communicate information to his past self, and his past self is considered like a seer or something of that nature. It looks super cool. It's Jackie Chan getting to do, like, Jackie Chan stuff, but also be like in armor and have weapons and be in like ancient China. It just looks super cool. It's hard to say if the de-aging is going to look good or not. The trailer makes it look not bad.
But it's Jackie Chan.
I honestly don't care what it looks like in the movie because
it's Jackie Chan.
Yeah, because it's Jackie Chan, and I'm just super jazzed about that. It looks really good.
You know what movie I haven't seen in a long time that I think I need to revisit? Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights.
Those are good movies.
Those are good movies.
Well, talking Shanghai Nights, Mark Strong, who always plays
the bad guy,
bad British dude and everything except for Kingsman, he was in that new Dune.
And they cast him in Kingsman because they knew you were going to think he was the bad guy.
Yeah, that was the whole. Well, because it doesn't help that he was the evil dude in Sherlock. Moriarty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for the Robert Downey Jr. stuff, and I think that's what set Mark Strong as like having to be the bad guys, because like, dang dude, I mean, that's Moriarty. Yeah, Mark Strong's the bad guy now.
But anyway, you were saying Jackie Chan.
A Legend trailer's out there. You can watch it. I didn't see anything about when if it has plans to release in the U.S. or not. Let me double check that. But if you like Jackie Chan stuff the way that I do, which I'm sure that you do, I don't see anything about a release date for U.S., but it looks like a lot of fun.
I'm sure it'll hit streaming here. You know, I don't think it'll.
Yeah.
I would love for it to see it be in a theatrical release. But what made me think of this is, Jackie Chan. I saw a trailer this past weekend for the new film Love Hurts, and kind of an independent film starring Ke Huy Quan. Of course, he's everywhere right now because he won the Academy Award for Everything Everywhere All at Once. But from his performance in that movie and to the trailer of this movie, it's from the producers of Nobody and Violent Night. He looks like he was giving me big Jackie Chan energy because he's just so fun and so wholesome to watch, but then he's beating everybody's asses in hilarious ways. And I'm just super jazzed about seeing him in more roles. If you haven't seen the trailer to Love Hurts, it just came out of post-production. This movie did. It's set for a 2025 in February release date. I'm ready for this one. It looks pretty good.
One of our comment, Beelzebub Ding Dong said he was Moriarty. I thought that was Richard Harris's son. Well, I'm looking at the IMDb. Mark Strong played a character named Lord Henry Blackwood. I thought he was...
That was another bad guy.
He was a bad guy in
Yeah.
it. I thought he was Moriarty
The bad guy?
Well, yeah, because he was Mark Strong.
Because he's always a bad guy?
Yeah, who was... I don't see anyone listed as Moriarty in... But he was in the first movie, right? He was in the first RDJ...
What was that
Sherlock
one called?
Holmes?
It was just
It was
called
called
Sherlock
Sherlock
Holmes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the RDJ one, 2009. Oh my gosh.
I know. I had to scroll a ways back.
Holy Mary Mother. Yeah, he was in the first one. He was Lord Henry Blackwood,
That's what I'm saying.
the
but
bad guy. I don't think
does-
Moriarty was even in that one.
I thought he had
I think
like
he was
a
in
little...
the second or third one. I think
thought
it was like
at
a
the
note.
end-
You know, it was like a uh-oh, there's the M, so you know
But
that
I
there's
thought
a
that
sequel
was the
coming.
whole thing, was that you didn't know that he was Moriarty, and at the end it was like, oh, he is Moriarty kind of a thing.
I mean, he like works for Moriarty. Everything's Moriarty in the Sherlock verse. This is the only villain that everybody remembers. Did you ever watch the Sherlock show that was oh geez, what's his name, from Hackers? We were just talking about Hackers. I can't believe I'm not thinking of his name right now because I actually like him a lot. It was him and Lucy Liu.
I don't think I did.
Oh, it was good. It was good. I never made it through the whole series, but he was Jason. Oh, God, I thought I had it. I mean, I'm sitting in front of a damn computer.
Oh, yeah, Jared Harris plays Moriarty in the second movie. Well, it doesn't matter. The point is, he was a Sherlock Holmes bad guy.
Yeah.
I can't remember everything.
Johnny
man.
Lee Miller. Can't believe I forgot his name. I like Johnny Lee Miller too.
I watched, what's that movie? Sherlock Holmes' younger brother, or what's that movie called?
What?
Yeah, it's about like Sherlock's brother. It's a comedy. Oh, it's something. It's dumb. Oh, that dude. Wasn't he in the Headless Horseman?
Johnny
show or whatever?
Lee Miller was in a bunch of stuff, but I mean, everybody remembers him from Trainspotting, and there was a movie that he did. I want to say it was. Oh man, it was like in the 90s. It was really, really cool. It's called Plunkett and McLean. And if you've never seen this, it's from Jake Scott. And Jake Scott, didn't really do a whole lot of movies, but comes from an extremely famous family. So Jake, you just pulled that up, and what was the name of it?
Yeah, The Adventure of Sherlock Holmes' Smarter Brother, starring Gene Wilder.
Gotcha.
That's it.
Well, here's a movie recommendation if you are wanting one of those is Plunkett and McLean, a really weird kind of 90s lost action adventure period piece. I don't hear people talk about it very often, but it's got Robert Carlyle, Johnny Lee Miller, it's got Liv Tyler, it's got oh my gosh, it's got Matt Lucas is in it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like it's got a bunch of people in this movie, and it's great.
Is that all Tony
Alan
Winter?
Cumming?
Yeah.
Alan Cumming is in it as well, and he's amazing. But yeah, Plunkett McLean, like nobody knows this movie. And I don't know why, but I also love having like movies that I've seen, because the internet's so weird, and you start throwing out these weird obscure lost films that become so culty that people are like, oh yeah, totally, and it's all over the internet. But Plunkett and McLean is one of those that I don't think anybody saw this movie.
Well, you see why no one saw it. It came out in 99. And like we were just talking about, people had bigger worries than going to the movie theater.
Y2K.
In 99, yeah.
But pretty fun movie. And a period piece too, and a heist and action. It had everything. Night Ashley says she also loves Johnny Lee Miller.
Beelzebub Ding Dong asked us about Ebola Holmes. If you talk, Enola Holmes, I think is what that one's called, the Netflix one with Stranger Things girl. They're making another one of those, and the things I was reading was saying that they want it to be darker in tone to mirror the
and that
she's maturing. So
that was Bobby Brown, wasn't it?
Millie Bobby Brown. Yeah. So they want the next one to be like more grim and more dark, so that it's more mature to show that she's also maturing, and for it to be like.
Well, isn't she like 30 now?
Themed. Is she? No.
That's just the gag because like the new Stranger Things.
She's in her mid-20s.
Yeah, the new Stranger Things it hasn't dropped yet in the new season, but they're showing like behind the scenes photos, and they're all like straight up adults, and they're like sitting at the cafeteria table, and they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, yeah. They all have to like wax their faces.
Oh man. Let's see. Beelzebub says, I haven't seen it because I'm not a teenage girl.
Well, Velvet Santa says something important too. Star Wars Episode 1 came out in 99. That's true. We got Qui-Gon Jinn in 99.
And
pod racing.
We did get pod racing, didn't we?
This is pod racing.
But Darth Maul. Darth Maul was everywhere.
And Ewan McGregor became like a thing that people knew about.
Yeah, he was
other
Obi-Wan.
than Train Spotting.
Yeah, other than Train Spotting. Dude, Train Spotting, so Train Spotting, there's only a handful of like really iconic British movies that really crossed the pond back then, and one of them was like Human Traffic, which is like a great movie about like the...
Is Train Spotting British or is it
Oh yeah,
Irish?
Well, I mean, okay, from over there.
I don't remember. I'm legitimately asking.
I think it's Irish.
British. Well, Ewan McGregor's Scottish, so I have no idea.
I don't know. I can't remember who directed it, but it's not American. It's the Scottish is still British.
I know that Scottish is British, but I'm asking if the movie is Irish because I feel like Train Spotting is an Irish movie.
I think it takes place
Ewan
in
McGregor
Ireland.
is a Scottish actor.
Or no, I think it takes place in Scotland because they're in and out of pubs in Scotland.
Well, then it would be British, yeah.
Yeah, but then Human Traffic, which is very British, because it takes place in Cardiff, and it's a very great, like, again, 1999 movie that is all about like the rave scene in the UK, and it's also really good. But it was weird. That was a time where we didn't get a lot of those movies over here. Thanks
Train
for the
Spotting's
sub,
about
Merle.
the Edinburgh drug scene. So
I knew it was
Scottish.
Edinburgh.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's British.
Because I was like, I've been to that place where they filmed that. Oh yeah, Merle over on Twitch has clearly seen Human Traffic, because it's about jungle man and garage. It's a great movie. But Edinburgh, I tried to go find the nastiest toilet in all of Edinburgh, because it was in Train
When you
Spotting.
were there?
No, yeah, because I was like, where did they film that? Where was it filmed? I wasn't gonna go poop in it, but Mark Landry over on YouTube also said Human Traffic is awesome. And it's like there was a Human Traffic. There was another movie. I want to say it was that was like an American equivalent. It was called I think it was just called Go, and it came out in 1999 as well. If we want to talk like sister partnering, the American, like whatever. It was from the director of Swingers. It was Doug Liman. And Go, it actually had a really young Taye Diggs and Timothy Oliphant was like the mysterious drug dealer, sexy guy. But it was like a 3 a.m., there's a rave going to happen, and they got to go get drugs, and then it turns into this, oh shit, what's going on? Cops are involved. There's a dude trying to get them because they stole these drugs. And just another one of those fun, like late 90s, the 90s are about to be over, great movie.
But this was after he made money with Swingers, and people were like, yeah, we'll let you direct a movie. Because Swingers, I mean, you've read all the stories about that and like seen all the interviews. Yeah, they just like they went and they filmed places without a license, and they
It was
like,
money, baby.
Go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Night Owl, she says, why am I picturing that movie with the stuff going across the conveyor belt with grocery store? Because that was a very important scene. where they were in the grocery store getting ready to like plan the night, right? Mark Landry over on YouTube said Groove is just a USA knockoff of Human Traffic. I thought, wasn't Groove more of a documentary though? Like I thought it was just interviews about like the EDM rave, like warehouse party scene. Let's see. DJ Merle says, Better Living Through Circuitry. Oh, yeah. Dude, that was an awesome documentary as well. Talking about 90s stuff at the end of the 90s. I mean, dude, there was a lot of really cool movies that came out. Like, I like how we just went on an epic rock block of movies that came out from 1999.
This is what happens when
we don't review
movies
them.
don't come out.
We're like, instead of talking about Moana, let's talk about all these crazy cool movies that came out in this one year. Yeah, man, they're out there, man. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day, and and you've probably heard me say this on the show before, and they'll say things like, "Well, that was before my time, so I've never watched it." And it's like, here, go watch it. And they go, "Well, it seems like kind of an older movie. Why would I watch that?" And I go, "Because it's freaking good, man. Just because it's older doesn't mean it's not great. You know, I mean, like we're pretty good examples of watching movies that were way before our time, and we're still watching movies. Like, I wouldn't say that Red One is of my time, but I'm still go watch it, you know, and see if it's a good movie or not."
I mean, my favorite movie is old black and white from like 1951 or something like that. The Stalag 17, which I just saw a thing about Hogan's Heroes the other day. It was based on that movie. 53 is when Stalag 17 came out. That is my all-time favorite movie. I love that movie. I like everything that Kurosawa ever did. Mm-hmm. He made like one movie, two movies of my time or something like that. But
but the best ones were before that.
Oh yeah. I mean, so I like watching classic movies. There's so much good comedy. I'll sit and watch Three Stooges anytime. That's not.
Oh yeah, that's timeless.
Of my time. Yeah, I like watching the Munsters and the Addams Family TV shows.
Timeless,
and things like that.
Velvet Santa just chimed in with another 1999 banger, Boondock Saints. Boondock Saints was
99.
It was 99, and that was actually a weird experiment. That movie never actually hit theaters. That movie was a straight to DVD and not, DVD VHS, but not just DVD VHS. It was straight to Blockbuster exclusive. I think it was a part of this plan that Blockbuster had, because back when Blockbuster was the king of media, physical media, I think it was Legionnaire with Jean-Claude Van Damme. They were trying to do it as well, and like going, what would happen if we release these either at the same time as in the movie theater, or just go straight to these things, but then treat them like these big new releases. But a lot of people never got to watch Boondock Saints until many years later, almost a decade later, and then it got like, it became like a dorm room bro-bra classic. Boondock Saints was terrible, says Movie Albert. Yes, it's structurally not a great movie, but it became a cult classic for a lot of very obvious reasons when you watch it. Because it just like appealed to a very certain demographic. Straight to dorm room poster. Yeah, that's
in Broforce video game. Boondock Saints are the ones that I always hate getting.
Oh yeah,
because you have the 2 and it makes it so much harder, and their specials lame. The 13th Warrior came out in 99.
13th Warrior? Oh, that was...
How about that?
Man, Antonio Banderas with, like, fighting alongside Vikings as, like...
I remember that was
like
such a weird
Spanish sword
movie.
fighter. That was a weird movie. And I honestly... It's been so long since I've seen 13th Warrior that I don't even know if it... I can't remember if it was good or not.
Oh, holy shit. Jinro came out in 99.
Okay, Jinro was good.
And is it Jinro that the... guy who's doing War of the Rohirrim?
Yeah,
he did one of those, or he did one of the like spin-off.
Oh, he was Middle Eastern.
things.
Okay, yeah,
right.
Guess I got a little confused because he's not Middle Eastern. But you know, back in the 90s, everybody was ethnic, right? American Beauty. I don't think American Beauty aged very well. If we're talking about it.
Especially with the actors that are in it, huh? Spacey.
Yeah. But it's crazy. 1999, Vortex, dude. This show, we're gonna party like it's 1999 on this show. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Let's
Watch movies like it's 1999.
I'm okay with just having Prince nonsense going on.
I'm about it. What are you looking? Are you looking at more 1999 movies?
No, I'm on to the War of the Rohirrim guy because I'm pretty sure he did do Jinro, and if it wasn't Jinro, it was something that was like Jinro adjacent kind of a thing. Because I remember looking at it and being like, oh, what all has this guy done? And there was something like Jinro that was in there because it's such a cool movie.
It is a pretty cool movie.
Yeah, Jinro. There it is, right there.
Yeah, that's.
I was right. I was right the whole time.
Well, let's before we spiral further out of control into this.
Deuce Bigelow was 99.
We don't need to talk about.
That's a huge bitch.
We don't need to talk about that. Mark Landry, what year was Freddie Got? Oh.
I'm pretty sure Freddie Got Fingered was mid 2000s. Daddy, would you like some sausage?
Didn't.
That's not treasure. That's soap on a rope.
Didn't he come to Fayetteville once and everybody was like trying to find him around Dixon Street? I think he came down on Dixon Street.
Not that I know. It was 2001, so earlier than I remembered. No, dude, if Tom Green was here at that time.
No, Tom Green came to Fayetteville for some reason.
Oh, man.
And he was in town.
I would have been like, I have to. I watched the Tom Green show like crazy. If Rip Torn would have been here, I probably would have been even more about it. Like I want to be Rip Torn so bad.
All right, well, we got to do the box office roundup because it is that time. We're almost out of time. So we're going to give you the top 10 movies in the United States, some worldwide if they're the big boys. Jake's going to give you the top 10 movies starting with number 10, working our way up to number 1. Of course, it was a holiday week, so a lot of money spent at the theaters this week. And I hope that you listened to what I said last week and were very patient and kind to your theater employees this weekend. But yeah, take it away, Jay.
Well, first I got to say I'm totally thrown off now because now that I'm in movie mode and thinking about things,
90s movies
and someone bringing up Freddie Got Fingered, I'm just like remembering everything about it. Like you have to be inside the characters, and he like climbs inside the deer carcass, and then he smacks the elephant's wiener, and like Rip Torn just yelling at him the whole time. And
oh my god,
what a movie that I've watched far too many times. Anyhow, that's not a movie of anyone's time right there. But coming in just real quick at number 11, since we were talking about Ray Fiennes, his movie's still up there, not too far out of the top 10. 6 weeks, Conclave, still out there making money. So good for it. But coming in the top 10, climbing from the number 11 spot, movie you talked about, A Real Pain. In its 5th week out, but probably not 5th week of wide release. It made another $656,000, so it's made $6.1 million total so far.
That's a little Searchlight Pictures, a little indie movie doing pretty well for itself.
I've heard some good things about it, not just from the positive review that you provided for it on the show. And then at number 9, The Wild Robot, still hanging in there, 10 weeks out from Universal. $700,000 brought in by that one for $142.5 million here in the U.S. There are planned sequels for that, and I think it's available to watch at home right now if you want to pay to watch it at home instead. Have the tissues nearby.
Okay.
At number 8, Heretic, another one that you talked about here.
A24 pick.
$57,000 brought in by that one. $26.8 million in its 4 weeks out. I read a thing about A24 that Witch was their first horror movie.
Yeah, and then it just.
And I remember that. Yeah, that was one that on the show you were like, that movie. And
I was like, you're. Pay attention to A24.
Yeah, then A24 became like, they're like, this is what we're doing now. We're making weird off-kilter horror and horror-adjacent movies, and they do very good at it. Number 7, dropping from the number 5 spot, Venom, The Last Dance. $2,222,000 in its 6 week, bringing it up to $138 million here in the U.S. It has made $330,300,000
I never got a chance to watch it. I watched the other two, and this one just I just didn't get into it.
You can watch most of it online.
Yeah.
Most of the clips are out there. I still haven't watched either of the last 2 Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I've seen enough of clips of both of them online, and also just the lack of giving a crap. And then at number 6, Bonhoeffer, I don't speak Germanic languages of any kind. Pastor, Spy, Assassin. One that Movie Albert here in our comments said was very good. Check out his channel. And maybe he's reviewed it there on his show, and you can see what he has to say about it there. It's second week out there from Angel Studios. $2.3 million has brought in $9.6 million so far here in the U.S. And then rounding out the top 5, the best Christmas pageant ever. In its 4th week out, $3.2 million, bringing that up to about $32 million so far. But it did climb a spot.
Yeah, it did.
So with Christmas in its title.
Climbed a spot and lost theaters. So
yeah. Not bad for that. I mean, good job. Keep going. And then at number 4, dropping out of the top 3, Red One. $12.7 million for that one. In its 3rd week out, it's brought in about $76 million. Another 73 elsewhere in the world, bringing it up to just under 150 total.
Just the amount of money that Rock derailed that production.
Yeah, yeah, it's almost made the money that The Rock has admitted that he cost the movie just in being late and having an attitude or whatever, which sucks to hear that that someone as cool as Dwayne Johnson wasn't cool during this production necessarily, but that movie needs to make like $300,000 before it even starts to clear a profit.
Dwayne.
Yep. And then at number 3, Gladiator 2, it brought in another $31 million, bringing its 2-week total in the U.S. to $111.5 million. $209 million elsewhere in the world, bringing it up to $320 million. So that one may be getting close to making money. People have said decent things about it.
Denzel is worth watching it.
Yeah. And then at number 2, dropping the top spot, Wicked, $81 million in its 2nd week, bringing it to $263 million so far. Almost another $100 million from elsewhere in the world.
Which is surprising. I feel like it would maybe it just hasn't gotten as wide a release yet.
Yeah, but where does like a musical, like a Broadway?
But it's Wizard of Oz, though.
Yeah, but it's a Broadway style musical.
Yeah, but all these Bollywood movies, they're musicals essentially.
Yeah, you're right. But not Broadway style musical. Their music isn't always super integral to the story. They happen here and there, but the story is longer than the music. This one, the music is longer than the story. But anyhow, Wicked still making lots of the dollars, but it still has another $800 million before it can conquer Greece. So, and then opening at the top spot from Disney, king of the top spot, $140 million on the weekend,
but for
making its Thanksgiving Day long weekend total $225.5 million. Moana 2 already made another 164 across the world. So in its opening weekend, it's made almost $400 million. So 389, 258. Dang, I would have not expected that. Honestly.
Yeah, me either.
I would have not suspected that a sequel to a movie that felt fairly wrapped up. But it was in every single theater in the United States. It was on an estimated 4,200 screens.
They're just all of the screens. All of them, Moana. Everything Moana.
Yeah, there wasn't a single theater worth mentioning that was without Moana 2. So... Which and Wicked only has Wicked has just under 3,900 theaters. So Moana's in 300 plus theaters more than Wicked. But dang, I would have not thought that.
And that's your weekend, guys. That's it. That's the breaks. We're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna come back next week. We're going to, as Velvet Sand over on Twitch says, shout out to our boy Vince, who He's our Twitch mod and our Discord mod. Been under the weather with some medical stuff, so
I hate that. Yeah.
Yeah, but hopefully be back next week.
I'm not as active in the Discord as I should be. So hope you feel better, Vince.
But if you want to get active in the Discord or follow us on any of our media, we do live stream this every Monday night at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. You can follow us over at driveinspeakerbox.com. Hits that link tree. You can watch wherever it's convenient for you. Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. You know, you can do that. Or you can download this audio version of this podcast wherever it is you download your podcasts from.
I just saw that Beelzebub Ding Dong said that you had to do DMT to watch Freddy Got Fingered more than once.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Or just be an idiot.
Also not wrong. Well, all right, guys. Well, we will catch you next week. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving and are eating vegetables and dieting this week because it is December. It's holiday season, and we will catch you guys next week.
See ya.
Later.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.